Hey everyone, today we're going to be revisiting the Panda Pack from Pioneer Carry. And this is a bag that I have come back to many times over the past year as I've just enjoyed it so much each time that I use it. It has one of my favorite organizational layouts. It's super rugged, I love the style, and I was excited to hear that Pioneer Carry was releasing an updated edition. And so in this video, I'm going to be talking about what it's been like to test this new edition over the past couple of weeks. I'll show you how I've loaded it out, walk through all the features, and I'll also talk about how it compares to some of the other similar bags that are currently on the market. Before jumping into the video, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel, we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. To kick things off, the first thing I wanted to mention is that this is more of an evolution than a complete redesign, so there are quite a few similarities with the previous version, which I think is a good thing because I was a big fan of that bag, so I'm glad that it didn't completely change. And as far as the aesthetic, pretty similar. There are some slight kind of refinements. It feels a little sleeker, but in general, it has the same style that to me feels a little bit like a Toomey backpack, so very classy, something that's gonna work well for taking into the office. It's gonna be great for traveling. I have used this, as a personal item on various flights, and it's just a great kind of all-purpose bag. As far as the materials, you still have the very rugged 840D Mandarin ballistic nylon, which has held up great with the initial version of the bag and the other ones in Pioneer's Million Mile collection. So it's just a really nice material that also offers a good amount of weather resistance. Beyond that, you have these really nice YKK zippers that have this interesting style, which, I've always thought that I'm not gonna be a huge fan of, but the way that Pioneer has implemented them, they work so smoothly that I have actually come to enjoy these quite a bit. So they feel durable, they're super smooth and reliable, and it's been great to see that. You have really nice zipper pulls as well, and really solid hardware all throughout. Continuing along the outside of the bag, you have a nice carrying handle at the top. Similar system to what was on the previous version, so you have this snap closure here that will allow you to remove it, but I like how comfortable and premium this feels. You also have a luggage tag included on the side, so great for that travel usage. And then you also have the ability to stand the bag up on its own pretty consistently. I did notice that as I take my laptop out and some of the weight starts to shift forward, it can tip a little bit, so you'll want to keep an eye on that, but for the most part, I've been able to place it down next to me and access the compartments when I've needed to. Moving into the capacity, this comes in at about 25 liters, which is one of my favorite backpack sizes for its versatility. This is something that I can use for my day-to-day, but it feels like it has some extra space for longer days, particularly with the volume that's offered on the exterior compartments. Now, this does lead to the bag feeling maybe slightly bulky once you pack everything out, but for the most part, it still has a size and silhouette that I've been able to carry on with me on a variety of domestic and international airlines and put the bag under the seat in front of me, and then it's also just gonna be a great bag for just kind of walking around the city. Continuing with the harness system, so far the bag has been quite comfortable to wear. This is an area where there's been some improvements, and so you have a nice amount of padding on the straps. They feel comfortable right out of the box. On the inside, you have kind of this soft material. It's not necessarily breathable, but it does feel nice when you're wearing the bag, and then you also have a good width to help prevent the bag from digging into your shoulders when it's a little bit more packed out. You don't have any sternum strap included with the bag here or attachment points, so it's a more minimal kind of strap system, but that doesn't really bother me. And then on the back panel, this has definitely been upgraded a bit as far as the padding. It feels more robust and more comfortable than the one that was on the original. You also have a little bit of elevation here to create this air channel and an awesome luggage pass-through that's going to allow you to rest this on your suitcase while traveling, save some weight on your back. I like the vertical orientation here that will allow you to easily reach your laptop. Jumping into the organizational options, this is definitely an area where the bag shines in my opinion. As I've mentioned a few times, I absolutely love the pocket layout on this bag. It's just super functional and easy to use because the compartments have their own dedicated volume. And so starting off on the sides, you don't have traditional water bottle pockets. You have these zippered pockets that have been made a little bit taller on this version of the bag to give you some extra space and flexibility with what you can store. And you have, these smooth working zippers and a nice amount of space. At the moment on this one, I just have a packable tote bag from Peak Design, but again, you have good dedicated volume here, and you can use this to hold a water bottle. So here I have my 20-ounce water bottle from Wandered, and so it does slide in there pretty comfortably, and this comes up further than it did with the previous version. It still doesn't quite close with something this tall, but with a smaller water bottle, you know, it'll work fine, smaller umbrellas, and then you can leave it open and still use this to hold this type of accessory if you want to. But I'm always a fan of the fact that with the zipper, I'm just able to store additional things like I do on the other side. So similar style compartment, similar size, and in this one I have just some of the cables that I have with my USB-C hub for charging all of my devices while I'm on the go. And on the front, you have the two spacious quick access pockets, one at the top. So you have, you know, good amount of capacity here for the items that I'm reaching for most regularly. I have a headlamp here at the moment. And then I also have my sunglasses case. This is one of the bulkier ones that I use, and so it's able to handle that without any issue. Great for other pouches that you might want to toss in, particularly if you're going through security. It's always nice to have that extra bit of flexibility provided by this type of volume. And on the back, you have an additional slip pocket where I'm currently storing my AirPods and a charging cable for my phone and my tablet. Below that, you have another quick access pocket, again, with a surprising amount of space. At the moment, I have my Alpaca admin pouch in here. I also have a Tom Bin Ghost Whale pouch. But with the space that's offered here, I've actually been able to fit my smaller drones. You can also probably fit an over-ear pair of headphones, packable jackets. So lots of different options because of how spacious this ends up being. And then on the back, you have an additional slip pocket where I'm just currently storing a Field Notes notebook. And you also have an included lanyard that you can use with a variety of keychains and carabiner accessories. Here I have one from the James brand that I like, but I like that they have this snap closure system so that you can just have more flexibility with what you can attach here. And you can also remove this if you want to, because you have that snap closure on both sides. On the back, you have the dedicated laptop compartment. This has also seen a couple of updates. First off, you now have dual zipper pulls on this compartment, which will make it easy to open it from either direction and also provide more of an ability to lock this compartment. The bag doesn't lock in the traditional sense, but you do have a variety of ways that you can combine the zipper pulls and attachment points to provide some theft deterrence if you want to. And then opening this up, you now have the sleeve on the inside that is suspended off the bottom of the ground. This was something that was present on the Savant pack and the Duration pack, but the original version of the Panda Pack did not have this sleeve that is present here. And so that is where I drop my laptop in so that it doesn't make contact with the ground. It's pulled up a little bit, and then you still have plenty of space on the back here. And the back panel is quite padded. This section does still go down to the bottom of the bag, but you can use this to store an additional device, maybe a portable monitor, some folders. So, you have plenty of space here. And this sleeve, with my 14-inch MacBook Pro, it fits comfortably. I think that a slightly larger laptop could fit, but I imagine that a 16-incher in this section might start to get a little tight. You might have to put it in the other section of the bag, which again is still not fully suspended, but great that you at least have the option to use this sleeve with the updated edition. The last area that we're going to be taking a look at is the main compartment. This has the clamshell style opening, so you can easily organize it and pack it out. Plenty of space here with this open layout. So I have my typical kind of modular gear here with the Evergood Civic Access pouch, 1 liters. I have 2 of those in there. My over-ear headphones, the cap half-liter Lockbeat tech pouch, and the 2-liter tech pouch. And all of those things fit in there very comfortably. And then this is a layout that will work well for minimal travel. If I want to toss in a packing cube, a toiletry bag, an extra pair of shoes, I could easily use this for a longer weekend trip. On the back here, you have an additional sleeve to separate out maybe one of your devices, some more documentations, folders, notebooks. You have some attachment points here on the back as well. And then on the lid, you have the dual zippered compartments that have this nice material here, so you can kind of see through it a little bit, and it's also going to mold around the items that are on the inside. It's not quite an elasticy mesh, but it does feel like it is very premium. And so you have one compartment on the bottom, which I generally don't use. And then there's one here at the top. This one I will tend to use a little bit more because it's close to the top. At the moment, I just have a hero clip in here, but a good spot for smaller items that I don't want falling down. And then you have an additional slip pocket behind that goes about the same distance as this pocket, maybe slightly more. So you can just toss some other accessories in there, portable battery, a mouse. So nice to have a little bit of organization built in here, but it doesn't go overboard on the inside. I think that this is a really useful layout. And then the external pockets on this continue to be a joy to use. They have a ton of space. They're just super easy to use. You can get to your stuff. And I really like that they updated the laptop area on this one and some of the slight tweaks. And if you're looking for a stylish and durable bag that's gonna offer plenty of space, organization, and that's gonna work well in a lot of different situations, this can be a fantastic option to take a look at. And so to wrap up, it's been a great experience revisiting the Panda Pack over the past couple of weeks. You can currently purchase this on the company's site. It's gonna come in at around $395, so definitely premium pricing on this one. You are getting something that is very solidly built and it's gonna offer a nice feature set, but there's gonna be some other great bags in this price range that may be worth considering. And so as I was testing this out, one of the first bags this made me think of is the Evergood CTB26, which is another one of those bags that has an organizational layout that I just love using. Really great quick access pockets with their own dedicated space, very easy to get to. You have a dedicated laptop compartment, luggage pass-through, dual external water bottle pockets. So just a really well-rounded bag. The aesthetic on that one is gonna be more minimal and it's got a slightly more outdoorsy or functional vibe, I guess you could say, compared to this one, but still very solidly built. It's offered in a couple of different fabrics. There's also the CTB20, the smaller version, and a CTB35 if you want something that's more geared towards one bag travel. Regardless, you're gonna get something that is very versatile, solidly built, and if you're looking for a bag that can kind of do it all, then that's gonna be a great one to consider. The next bag this made me think of is the Air City Pack Pro 2, which is a fantastic tech and everyday carry bag. It comes in at 24 liters, so pretty similar size to this. It's got a very, sleek profile, great organizational layout, dedicated laptop compartment that's suspended, well padded, luggage pass-through, super comfortable harness system. The 24-liter capacity allows it to also work well as a personal item. And that one is also gonna come in at a slightly lower price point. So if you're looking for a modern, techie bag that's gonna offer a great feature set, and that's gonna be a fantastic option to take a look at. And then the last option that I'll mention here, if you have a little bit of a higher budget, is the Traverse backpack from Carl Frederick. That one has a little bit more of an old school kind of rucksack style vibe, but still very stylish. It's made out of nubuck leather, so it's gonna be very rugged. I like the organizational layout that it has. It's got quick access pockets, a dedicated laptop area, a comfortable harness system, luggage pass-through, a spacious main compartment. The top loading style gives you a nice bit of flexibility with how much it can hold. And it's just something that looks great. It matches up well with their luggage. And if you're looking for a premium kind of all-purpose bag that's gonna give you a nice amount of space, and that's gonna be a great option to take a look at. With that being said, the Panda Pack continues to hold up very well against all those options. I like that this was an iteration and not necessarily a complete redesign, as I really like the original, and so there's some tweaks here that make it a better experience. And if you're looking for a stylish kind of all-purpose bag that's gonna work well for travel, that's gonna be great for taking into the office, and this is gonna be a fantastic option to consider. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you all think of the updated edition of the Panda Pack and how it compares to some of the other popular tech and everyday bags that are currently on the market. And if there's any similar options that you think that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank the company for sending the bag for me to test out, and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.